Ian, what stock
Yes.
are you most optimistic about? It's earnings season. It's that time of year. We always get excited. The numbers are coming in. Which stocks are you most optimistic about for earnings season?
Troy Joy is the sponsor of this segment. You done with the doom and gloom report? There's a few that I actually like in this earnings season. So Netflix is one.
Yep.
Texas Instruments, Intuitive Surgical. I like Johnson & Johnson, ASML, Tesla, despite Elon being on party powder. Abbott Laboratories. I haven't talked about this one. SAP, I like a lot. General Dynamics, ServiceNow, Visa, Union Pacific, and Gentex. So I know everyone's always like, you always talking about Apple, Microsoft, but those are some ones, especially SAP, Union Pacific, Gentex, General Dynamics, ServiceNow has been on the tear. ASML, we already know about. Yes. And Texas Instrument is not talked about enough. So those are the ones I like this earnings season. If I had to put my money somewhere for the long term, I would invest in those companies for sure.
I like service.
And I still love Apple too. Like for everyone's like, yo, you giving up on Apple? No, I'm not. I'm just saying Microsoft is a better company right now, but I still like Apple long term. Still 2 tech 2 index. That has not changed.
Yeah, I love all of those. So this week we're gonna get ASML on the 24th. Next week we got AMD. I'll just add the big ones that everybody's looking for. AMD on the 30th, Microsoft on the 30th, Google on the 30th. Amazon reporting on February 1st, Apple on February 1st, and we got to wait till February 21st to get NVIDIA. But I'll also, Meta also be reporting on February 1st, and I'm throwing in Cloudflare. Okay. For those not to know, Cloudflare is a service platform that helps improve security, reliability, and loaded times of internet applications and websites. And so if you figure this is all part of that AI community, right? Like you figure if there's going to be more artificial intelligence, there's going to be more security, there's going to be more cloud around there. I like Cloudflare in this space. And, they've been in the past probably 6 months in a phase of climbing out, right? They were hit an all-time high of 200 in November of 21. Kind of, obviously during the pullback in 2022, kind of crashed a bit. And now are climbing their way out. But as we start to see these tech spaces, the Datadogs and the F5s of the world, you're starting to see them climb out. Cloud, AI computing, all coming back into the space. I'm interested in seeing how they report on the 8th of February. So I'll add that one too.
That's perfect.
Before we leave, this diversity and inclusion, equity and inclusion thing is an extremely important conversation to have. When you see people like Bill Ackman saying that Martin Luther King would have been against DEI, and you see
when he said that,
you didn't hear about that?
I didn't hear that. Wow.
Yeah. Yep. And you see Elon Musk calling Mark Cuban a racist because he thinks that there should be a diversity program for pilots. This is something that I think Black people need to really pay attention to what's going on. So post George Floyd, there was billions of dollars that was pledged to Black initiatives, to Black companies, to Black founders. Almost all of that money has been pulled. You see affirmative action almost being completely erased by the court system. You see a major public push to end diversity and inclusion in corporate America. I'm telling you something. This is something that, like I said, the next 5 years is the most important years in human civilization. Your artificial intelligence is already taken up, they said, almost 20% of jobs in the next 10 years. Yep. The wealth gap is only getting larger, right?
Wider. Yep.
And you're seeing open push to end any type of inclusion program. What is trying to be created is a permanent underclass.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain parts of the world where they have permanent underclasses, right? And it's accepted. And it just is what it is. If you go to Australia, you see the Aborigines, very similar to the Native American in America.
Native Americans here, yep.
A permanent underclass where the ruling class rules, and you can never rise above the lowest levels of poverty.
It's like the new caste system.
Yeah. This is something that's extremely dangerous, and is happening in plain sight. So I think it's very important to know what's currently taking place, how to actively fight against it as far as black businesses that are scalable, support black businesses, taking part in the political system the right way, fighting the right way in the court systems. But if you just don't pay attention to this, you're gonna be affected by it for sure, one way or another. And once again,
they're talking on all fronts at one time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So be prepared.
Yeah. What can we do as a community? Like, if there's a 3-step blueprint to make it simple, what are 3 things we should be focusing on to offset some of these attacks that are going on in the diversity and inclusion space?
Well, the political landscape is extremely important. And like I said, not just voting for politicians, but actively being involved as far as funding campaigns, right? And the court system is extremely important as well. So understanding politics on a local and national level outside of voting, but interest as far as to say, okay, these are interests that we have. These are things that we want to have done, initiatives, programs. Funding is extremely important. Also, I think it's important to talk about how to fully what is having a black business really mean, and even black businesses that sell. And it's like, a lot of times when black businesses sell, there's a tremendous push on social media to call them a sellout, or to and you actually are hurting the valuations of companies, and your negative comments are costing people hundreds of millions of dollars. Because a company is like, okay, well, now if I buy a black business, I'm going to have to deal with pushback that I don't have to deal with if I buy a white business. So just that, their valuation might be 500 million, but I'm only paying 300 million. But what you don't understand, what you guys are failing to understand, is that liquidation events usually are the only time where you can actually get a large sum of money. Even if you have $100 million business, you might be running on thin margins, and you're not really making that much money. And if you get $300 million, now you can actually affect change, because it's been actually proven that black people usually spend money with black people. So now the entrepreneur that just sold their business for $300 million is gonna circulate back into the black economy somehow. Because she'll probably start a new business, right? She'll
fund, or be a fund, or an angel.
She's gonna invest in other businesses. She's gonna hire black people. This is going to triculate, and it's going to be actually more beneficial than if she would have kept the business, because now she might be only making $1 million a year. Right now she gets 300 million. We need more uber rich black people. We don't have enough outside of sports and entertainment. So it's like a lot of people that's uneducated on social media with negative comments. You don't realize how dangerous you are, because you actually do have power. Because you control social equity. So your one comment leads to a domino effect of 1,000 comments, and that leads to a variety of things that happen outside of the realm of your understanding. And you're not able to understand what you're doing, but you're actually having a very negative effect on black businesses and black economy, period. And just from a negative standpoint of just negative comments, it's like you just gotta be very careful of using words like sellout, or you did this, or like
I'm not supporting anymore.
No, it's just it's something that I think you just gotta be extremely careful of, because without knowing it, you're actually part of the problem.
Yeah, because you're a customer base, right? So if said company is saying that they're going to buy this company for $500 million, right? They're looking at it like, well, if I buy it for $500 million and 20% of your customer base says they're no longer supporting you because I'm buying it, then the valuation comes down. So we got to be mindful of the position that we're in, right? That we should be feeling like, hey, this is an accomplishment. Yes, they can now pour it back. They've now reached a certain level. They can create new funds. They can give new opportunities to other people, rather than saying, oh, the product is going to change because you sold it to this company now.
And what people don't realize is most businesses don't even make it to the second generation. So what would you rather have? Would you rather have a black entrepreneur that starts a business that sells it for $400 million? And like I said, the odds are they'll probably start another business, or they're gonna circulate this money somehow. Or would you rather them have a business that is successful, that runs into the ground and becomes Jet Magazine? Because you're not gonna be able to bail them out when they're bankrupt. when there's no longer support, when when people are saying that they're corny, now when they become FUBU, right? And now they're saying that no, they're just corny, and we don't want to wear their designs anymore. Now, where's the support for them, right? Where's the outcry of damn? We should have supported this company. You're not going to raise a fund to give them $400 million, and it's not beneficial when they go bankrupt. Nobody benefits in that situation.
Exactly.
Nobody benefits when the company gets run into the ground. Nobody benefits when the founder dies and then the kid takes it over and has no idea what he's doing. And then in 5 years, it's going to be gone. But that's the life cycle of business. Business has a life cycle, just like people have life cycles. Very few businesses last 300 years, 500 years. Of course, that's great.
Very rare.
Can't do it, but it's not common. It's not common. So it's like sometimes you got to take emotion out of it and really think from a rational standpoint. What are you getting in business for? You're getting in business to change people's lives, to have a product, but to ultimately make money.
To make money.
That's the whole point of it.
Yeah. Should the founders that get these large liquidation events, should they be obligated to give a percentage to the community through investing or reinvesting back into the company in the same fashion that we have like other entities do it? Or do you think there should be no obligation towards that? Because sometimes when these events happen, people feel as if, well, that's great for them, but like, what do I get out of it?
Nothing. You get nothing out of it. What did you get?
Support the product.
What did you get from buying Nike for 100 years? This is the thing. And Gilbert Arenas has said something. He was like, I never heard a white kid saying like the first thing he wants to do is buy his mom a house. I never heard a white person ever get asked, what did you do for your community? Nothing. Did nothing for my community. Right? Like we put so much pressure.
But that's because the system inherently does for that community though.
Look, it's not anybody's responsibility to change the trajectory of 1 billion people's lives. It's going to happen by accident. That's what I'm trying to get you to say. Like, if a black person gets rich, it's going to benefit black people by accident. Yeah. Now, whatever they want to do on top of that is great, but nobody should be held to this standard of, what did you do? What did you do? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people ask all the time, like, well, what did you do for your community? What did you do for your community?
Oh, what do you currently do?
You've been there for 30 years. Well, I'm not a millionaire. Okay, you could coach a basketball team.
You can do it. You can get the money that you have.
You could clean up. You could just have a cleanup project on Saturday and just clean up the park. That doesn't cost anything. You could have a mentorship program. What did you do? So I think that black people have a problem with a savior. We have a savior problem. There's no savior. I'm gonna be honest with you. A white savior is not coming to save us, but a black savior is not coming to save us either. Nobody's coming to save us. It's a collective. It's a collective. Once you work as a collective, then you understand that every person in society has a responsibility. Every person in society has a responsibility. Some people's responsibilities are bigger than others, but if we look at it from that collective standpoint, I've never seen a Chinese person ever say like, "This is my savior." A Japanese, they understand collectiveness, and that comes from the communist standpoint. But they just understand that it's a collective. You do your part, I do my part, and if we all do our part, then that's how we're gonna rise. As opposed to Michael Jordan writing a check for $50 billion. Where's that gonna go? We've seen that happen. Mark Zuckerberg gave Newark, New Jersey $100 million. What happened? Charity is not the way. Charity is not a blueprint. Charity is not a blueprint for success. It's not sustainable. We've seen this in Africa. How much money has been poured into Africa? It's not sustainable. Charity, but we got to get out of this mindset of looking for charity. Do for yourself. Help yourself. Help your family. Everybody help each other. Then that's how everybody's going to rise together. Looking for somebody, nobody owes you anything. Nobody in life owes you anything. And I'll be honest with you, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to do anything for you anyway. So you looking for somebody to magically sprinkle something that's going to change your life. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy.
Not at all.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. And then sometimes even if you do that, it's not appreciated, or entitlement kicks in, or betrayal after you give happens.
Or you didn't do enough.